I've been freelancing for 2 years. Some months I make $3,000. Some months I make $8,000. I have never figured out how to budget for that kind of income. The variability is the whole challenge. Every standard budgeting framework assumes the same number hitting your account every 2 weeks. Exactly. It just doesn't apply to me. It does apply. You just need a different starting point than the fixed income version. What starting point? Your lowest income month in the past 12 months becomes your budget baseline. Not your average, not your best, your lowest. You build everything, every category, every obligation off that floor number. But what do I do with the extra when a good month comes in? That's where the system gets genuinely interesting, and where most variable income budgeters build the most stability. Walk me through it. It starts with understanding that irregular income doesn't mean irregular budgeting. It means your budget has 2 modes instead of 1. One of the most consistent findings in CFPB, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, research on household financial behavior, is that income volatility is a growing reality for American workers. The gig economy, freelance contracting, commission-based sales, seasonal employment, tips-dependent service work, and small business ownership collectively represent a significant and expanding share of American earners. The Bureau of Labor Statistics contingent worker supplement data indicates that tens of millions of American workers receive income that varies meaningfully from month to month. Standard personal finance advice, built around the assumption of a stable biweekly paycheck, simply does not address the planning challenge these earners face.
If you earn variable income, you are not doing personal finance wrong. You are doing personal finance in a context that most personal finance content was not designed for. The solution is not to find advice that ignores the variability. It is to build a system specifically designed to absorb it.
Here is the complete system, built for variable income from the ground up.
The first step is establishing your baseline income, the floor, not the ceiling. Look at your income for the past 12 months. Identify the single lowest month. If you are newly self-employed and do not yet have 12 months of history, use the number that represents a genuinely bad but realistic month. Not catastrophic, but significantly below average. This number is your budget income. Every month, regardless of what you actually earn, you run your budget off this one baseline number.
Why the lowest month rather than the average? Because the average includes your best months, and budgeting to your average means that in any month below average, which will happen regularly, you cannot meet the budget without drawing down savings. The lowest month baseline ensures that your budget is always fundable, even in a poor income month. Your spending is calibrated to what you can always sustain, not to what you sometimes earn.
The second step is building what some financial planners who work with variable earners call an income smoothing account. A separate account that functions as a holding tank for your actual earnings. Every dollar you earn in any month goes into this account first, not directly into your checking account for spending. Then, on a fixed date each month, you transfer a fixed amount, your baseline budget income, from the income smoothing account to your checking account. This fixed transfer becomes your consistent paycheck, regardless of what actually came in. In a high income month, the excess stays in the smoothing account. In a low income month, the existing balance in the smoothing account covers the shortfall without any disruption to the budget.
The income smoothing account effectively converts variable income into a consistent monthly salary you pay yourself. Ramit Sethi, in I Will Teach You to Be Rich, describes this as one of the most powerful structural moves a self-employed person can make, transforming an irregular income stream into a predictable personal cash flow that supports standard budgeting, savings automation, and financial planning in exactly the same way a traditional salary does.
The third step is building your budget from the baseline using the same methods available to fixed income earners. Fixed expenses first: rent or mortgage, utilities, phone, minimum debt payments, insurance. Variable necessities next: groceries, transportation, healthcare costs, savings categories, emergency fund, retirement contributions, specific goal savings. Then wants, funded from whatever remains after obligations and savings are covered. The only constraint is that every category must be fundable from the baseline number, not from your best month.
The fourth step, and this is where the system creates real financial momentum, is establishing a protocol for what happens when a high-income month produces a surplus in the smoothing account above the amount needed for the following month's budget transfer.
A 3-tier surplus protocol works well for most variable earners. Tier 1. Maintain a buffer of 2 to 3 months of baseline budget income in the smoothing account at all times. This buffer is what protects you if income drops significantly for an extended period. A slow quarter, a lost client, a gap between projects. Until this buffer is fully funded, all surplus from high income months goes here. Tier 2. Once the buffer is established, surplus income goes to your emergency fund until it reaches the target size. For variable income earners, the standard 3 to 6 months of expenses recommended by Dave Ramsey should lean toward the higher end, with 6 to 12 months being a more appropriate target given the income uncertainty. Tier 3. Once the emergency fund is fully funded, surplus income from high months gets directed to additional debt payoff, investment contributions, or specific savings goals.
The Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances shows that variable income households that maintain a dedicated cash buffer, essentially the smoothing account described above, are significantly less likely to carry high-interest revolving credit card debt than those that manage variable income reactively, treating each month as a fresh start regardless of prior month's income.
Here is the mindset reframe that matters most for variable income budgeters. Variable income does not require a variable lifestyle. The income fluctuates. The budget does not have to. The smoothing account absorbs the variability at the income level, so the rest of your financial life can run with the same stability and predictability available to salaried workers. You are not at the mercy of your income calendar. You are building a system that decouples your spending behavior from your income timing.
In Morgan Housel, in The Psychology of Money, makes a point that applies here. Wealth is not about maximizing income. It is about controlling spending relative to income, whatever the shape of that income happens to take. The variable income earner who builds a smoothing buffer, funds a robust emergency reserve, and budgets consistently from a conservative baseline has more financial stability than the salaried worker who spends every dollar of a guaranteed paycheck and carries no buffer at all.
Your income varies. Your financial life does not have to. Build the baseline. Build the buffer. Let the system absorb the variability so you do not have to feel it every month.
So baseline income is my worst month. I build the whole budget from there, and nothing depends on a good month to work. Exactly. The good months go into the smoothing account. The bad months draw from it. Your checking account sees the same number every month, regardless. And the three-tier priority for surplus. Buffer first, emergency fund second, then goals. In that order. The buffer protects the month-to-month stability. The emergency fund protects the year-to-year stability. Then, the goals get funded from what builds beyond that. My worst month last year was $2,100. I've been budgeting like it was $3,500 average. That's why the budget never holds. You've been planning for months that don't always show up. 2,100 baseline. That's a tight budget. It's a survivable budget, which means it works every month, not just the good ones.